by ordering a DNA test as a fun gift for my family and ended up destroying 40 years of family history. I was scrolling on TikTok and I saw one where some guy bought some ancestry kits to use with his family. It looked fun and a completely different thing compared to the usual gifts, and I recently hit a win on Rolling Riches, so I figured I'd buy some for my family members as a small little gift. I'm very into genealogy and figured we'd learn some cool stuff about our heritage. Fun fact before we continue, my mom's always been proud of her Irish roots from her dad's side. We ran them up and the results came back. My mom has 0% Irish DNA. Turns out her dad wasn't her biological father. I almost fainted. I literally just couldn't believe it. When we asked my 89-year-old grandmother, who has dementia, she admitted to having an affair. She never told anyone for 65 years. I swear I thought this stuff only happens in movies, cause how TF did I end up experiencing this with my own family? My mom hasn't spoken to me in 3 weeks. She says I destroyed her identity. 3 weeks later and I still don't know why the fuck did I end up doing this. I wish I could go back in time and never do it.
So this happened yesterday, and I'm still cringing so hard I might never step into that gym again. I, 22F, recently started going to this new gym, and there's this insanely cute guy who works out around the same time as me. I've been trying to find the courage to talk to him for a couple of weeks. Yesterday, I finally decided it was time. I saw him doing deadlifts and I thought, okay, casual compliment, easy in. So I walked by, smiled, and said, "Your lats are majestic." WTF? Majestic? What was I thinking? Why said that. I meant to say you're lifting a lot, or nice form, or literally anything else. He looked confused, said, thanks, and I panicked and decided to just walk away and die in the locker room. While trying to speed walk away in embarrassment, I tripped over a medicine ball someone left in the way, my face planted into the floor, and I knocked the wind out of myself so hard I couldn't breathe for like 20 seconds. A trainer saw it happen, thought I was having a heart attack, and started actual CPR protocol before I could wheeze out "I'm fine." That same cute guy helped hold my legs up while I got oxygen. Pretty sure I died inside. Anyway, now I'm this CPR girl at the gym. And yes, I still plan to go back. I cannot.
After having sex with the fourth girl of my young life at the time, I decided to get an STD check. Not for any physical reasons, mostly for the emotional reassurance. Anyways, I called my neighbor across the street who is 3 years older than me, basically my big brother, and I told him that I made an appointment to get checked and I asked him what it entailed. He said it wasn't too bad. They did a sperm sample, swabbed his dick, checked his blood, etc., etc. So I felt pretty prepared going in there a few days later. On my way to the clinic I was feeling pretty nervous to ejaculate in a cup, but I reassured myself that it was going to be fine. When I finally got there, an older lady called my name and handed me a clear cup and escorted me to the restroom and said, "Please go in here." I was picturing more of a comfortable room where I could do my private thing of choking my chicken, but I thought fuck it, the bathroom will suffice. I remember looking around for some pornographic material because my neighbor said that they provide you with some, but there was nothing. I remember thinking, what the fuck, this place just expects us to use our imagination? Disappointed, I said, oh well, not like I haven't used just my imagination before. So I began, yes, masturbating over the sink. Anyways, I remember amazingly rubbing one out pretty fucking fast. Almost too fast. So I thought that I'd wait in there an additional 10 minutes because I didn't want her to think that I was some type of freak. After waiting in there for what felt like an eternity, I finally handed my semen-filled cup back to the old lady nurse, who acted impatient and upset that I took so long. I began following her down the hallway. The woman set the cup on this desk table thingy, looked at it, and then picked it up again, and she jiggled the cup a little bit. She stopped. I held my breath as I looked at her face as I saw it turn from confusion to sheer horror. She turns to me and goes, Sir, we only needed your urine." I will never forget the feeling that I had at that very moment. My face got red, I felt immediately hot, my legs felt weak. I just wanted to get the fuck out of there. There have been so many embarrassing moments in my life, but luckily I can think pretty quickly on my feet, and I can dig my way out of most uncomfortable situations. As for this moment, There was no fucking shovel in sight for me to dig myself out of. Nothing to say, nothing to do. I just stood there terrified. I just jizzed in a fucking urine sample cup, and now this poor elderly woman who was probably months away from retirement was now horrified and confused as she was gripping a hot cup of my potential babies. I'm guessing the clinic never trained her for situations like this. Even if she had made a joke to lighten the mood, it would have been better. It would have killed the tension in the room. Instead, she remained stoic. I felt awkward and scared. I felt like a monster. After going back to pee and a few tests later, I got the F out of there. After much reflection though, I now think that she deserved it. Because honestly, yes, I did assume that she wanted a sperm sample, but the woman never specified what she wanted. Therefore, she assumed I knew too, and when both people are assuming, chances are that one of them is going to get a cup full of the other one's jizz. It's just the way it is. God, I still cringe just thinking about that day. Sometimes when I'm looking at myself in the mirror, I randomly think of that old woman's face as she realized that she's holding a cup filled with my hot semen soldiers, and I just bust out laughing and shake my head. Good times.
This is a true story. I think it still counts as a joke though. I was at a wedding, and I was a last-minute invite, so I got stuck at the weird people table. I'm next to some 95-year-old lady in a wheelchair, and she leans over to me and says, "Wanna see my tattoo?" I say, "Sure, why not?" The lady grabs the waistband on her pants and slides it down slightly, off of her bony hip. Somehow without retching, I peer down and say, "I don't see it, because I don't." She goes, "Oh, okay," and slides her waistband a little lower. "See, it's a little mousy right there on my hip," she says, and I go, foolishly, "Still don't see it, ma'am." The lady snaps her waistband up and says, "Oh, I guess my pussy ate it," and then knocks back a glass of champagne.
I was lying in a hospital bed, feeling pretty rough. I had an oxygen mask over my mouth and nose, just trying to breathe and stay calm. Then a young nurse, clearly a student, came in to give me a sponge bath. "Just a partial one. Upper body and feet," she said. Now, I'm not proud of what happened next, but I was anxious. I tried to speak through the mask. "Nurse," I mumbled, "are my testicles black?" She paused, clearly uncomfortable. "I don't know, sir," she said, kind of awkwardly. "I'm only here to wash your upper body and feet." But I insisted. "Nurse, please. Can you check for me? Are my testicles black?" Now she looked genuinely concerned. Maybe she thought I was panicking or imagining things. She didn't want me getting worked up, so she nodded, pulled back the blanket. And the next thing I know, she's lifting my gown. She holds my, situation very gently, one hand on the goods, one on the backup system. She's really inspecting them. Like, focused. Finally, she looks up at me and says softly, "There's nothing wrong, sir. They look completely normal." At that point, I slowly took off my oxygen mask, smiled, and said, "Thank you very much. That was wonderful. Now listen very carefully. Are my test results back?" I was lying in a hospital bed, feeling pretty rough. I had an oxygen mask over my mouth and nose, just trying to breathe and stay calm. Then a young nurse, clearly a student, came in to give me a sponge bath. "Just a partial one. Upper body and feet," she said. Now, I'm not proud of what happened next, but I was anxious. I tried to speak through the mask. "Nurse," I mumbled, "are my testicles black?" She paused, clearly uncomfortable. "I don't know, sir," she said, kind of awkwardly. "I'm only here to wash your upper body and feet." But I insisted. "Nurse, please. Can you check for me? Are my testicles black?" Now she looked genuinely concerned. Maybe she thought I was panicking or imagining things. She didn't want me getting worked up, so she nodded, pulled back the blanket. And the next thing I know, she's lifting my gown. She holds my, situation very gently, one hand on the goods, one on the backup system. She's really inspecting them. Like, focused. Finally, she looks up at me and says softly, "There's nothing wrong, sir. They look completely normal." At that point, I slowly took off my oxygen mask, smiled, and said, "Thank you very much. That was wonderful. Now listen very carefully. My test results back